Hello, everyone. Hope you are doing good. I have had a great week, and I hope you have done the same. Pot smoking heathen, thank you already for the super chat, mate. Appreciate it. And you got the $5 in, so I will be including you in this week's super chat spell work. For those who don't know, if you do a super thanks on any of our videos or a super chat during the live streams of $5 or more, you're automatically included into a spell working for luck, good luck, good health, prosperity, well-being, the general stuff. Hope you guys are doing great. Real quick, we got a few early questions in here I'll try and get to before I get to the other announcements. Creators asking Drake, I was wondering if I could ask the 9 ruler elemental dragons for a personal dragon's ass seal. I feel awkward using yours. The seal was given to you by the dragons. That is not a sigil. It is a seal. That's very specific, first off. Secondly, they did not give that to me for me. They gave that to me to share, quite literally. That is not my dragon's eye seal. That is their dragon's eye seal that they wanted everyone to get access to, and that's why they had me share it. Anything that is like me specific, I don't share ever. So there's really no need to do that. And honestly, as far as I know, they don't have any others. That is the one that all dragons use. So that's the best answer I can give to you on that one, creator. Blue Star, welcome. Good to see you. Ooh, coffee's good tonight. Ooh. Wife made it. It's good. Gabriel, good to see you. Maria, welcome. Glad you could make it. Violet Star, hello. Thundercap, hey. Lori B, good to see you. Casey, Jade, glad you could make it. Ganesh Cheval, welcome. And Scarlet Shield, hello. Glad you all could make it. All right, so real quick, we do have some really awesome videos coming up. I recently had a viewer guest at a roundtable. That roundtable, we got so carried away talking about the topic on hand that there was like one little section I had to cut out by request. But it's still a 2-hour roundtable. And honestly, the whole time we were sitting there, it did not feel like it was 2 hours. I did not find it was 2 hours till after the recording. So hopefully in a couple weeks, you'll be getting to see that roundtable. Tuesday, however, I believe Tuesday we have a video talking about the balance of life and magic and how that you can go about balancing an extremely busy life. And to do that, I actually reached out and interviewed our very own Jade for that one. So you're actually going to get a peek inside the world of Jade this coming Tuesday. So definitely check that out and give Jade your support. She did great, by the way. So no worries there. Anthony, hey, great to see you, mate. I just finally made it live. Hey, Existence, glad you could make it. Leader. Violet, good to see you. Oscar, hey. Charnu, good to see you. Oscar, I felt like the roundtable was pretty. It was a really great one. Like even going back and rewatching it to do the, as I was getting it ready to upload, came out amazing. What's your experience with Surtur like? Surtur, I've enjoyed my workings for my part. Surtur is very much a, how would you put this? Surtur's more of a destructive force. That is kind of his whole shebang, which makes sense when you look into the Edis and you see what it is. So if you're needing something specifically to remove something, to eliminate it, Surtur is a great one. If you're looking for something simple, something easy, something smooth, that's not Surtur. It's not. Surtur, working with Surtur, though I can say I've had a lot of great encounters with them. They are pretty much like trying to sit on a atomic bomb in a cast iron oven and you're sitting on the lid and you're about to Bugs Bunny yourself into orbit. That's the best way I can describe that energy. And there is like, I've asked Surtur before, it's like, is there any, like variations in level? And Surtur's made it clear that no, there's only just, that's it. You want it gone, it's going to be gone. There's no volume. But aside from that, I've enjoyed my experience with them. Not really one for words, which kind of sucks because I do like to talk and shoot the breeze and try and gain some knowledge and wisdom, which I've attempted. But Surtur's very much a more kind of sit there and just like, I think I know mutes that said more than him. Seriously. So if you want someone to talk to, Surtur's not the guy to go to. It's pretty much all about the elimination factor. Vincent, welcome. Existence. Hey, Drake. So I've been out in the realms for, let's see, I've been out of the realms for about 2 months. Would my Comag still be there? Oh yeah. You're guardian and co-magician, unless you do something like to attack them or to attempt to harm them or bind them, they're not going anywhere. You see 2 months, they're not even going to see 2 seconds. Seriously, dragons and time, it's just they won't realize the human lifespan passed. Let's put it that way. So you're in the clear. Demolition Man. That is actually a really good phrasing there, Oscar. Demolition Man. And boy, does he love his job. Like the dude loves his job more than, was it Vinny from the movie Atlantis, where it's like, look at these ancient columns. They've been here for thousands of years. They just took ages to carve. Look, I made a bridge. Took me like 2 seconds. Just blew the thing up. Kind of that mentality, only Vinny was definitely a lot more pleasant person. Yeah. So, okay, everyone, just so we can get these announcements out of the way, do remember we release a video every Tuesday. If you like occult content, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you are notified anytime we release a new video or go live. Like right now, we do live streams every Sunday, or we try to. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And for those on the Pacific Coast, we do them at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We do also have an online school at workingdragonmystic.com where we have online courses, including tarot, meditation, Dragon Magic 101, 102, and we're still adding more courses to that, including hopefully later this year, the upcoming evocation course that is actually in the works right now. Seems like I'm supposed to say something else. Oh, we also have a gilded community. If anyone is interested in joining it, you can find that link in the About section here on the channel. Or usually when I say this, occasionally Jade pops it into the chat here. She may also do that. That would be great. Oh, we also do have a merch store. Oh, yeah, I almost forgot about that. People keep telling me I don't say enough about it. Okay, look, I'm saying it. We do have a merch store. We have coffee cups. You can get the Dragon's Eye seal, the artistic ones, what I'm drinking out of than that. We do have wall hangings that have the Dragon's Eye seal that you can actually use on the floor as a ritual circle, or you can hang them for decoration or other workings, trance work, soul travel. We have beach towels that actually function as altar cloths. They're real long, durable, heavy. I freaking love them because I love to go outside and do workings, and they're easy to clean. So I love them. We have stuff like that. We do have stickers, even of the Dragon's Eye seal. I actually buy the stickers for my journals to stick them in there so I can have an easy access to that, personally speaking. And just because I ain't said it in a while, don't forget Outlaw soaps. We here at Working Dragon Mystic absolutely adore them. I reached out to them to see if I could actually, say, hey, check out these soaps and see if I can get you all a discount. They did. The discount code is Working Dragon Mystic. There should be a link below any of the videos. Go check them out. I have fallen in love with their soaps. I really have. That's all I'm going to say about them. They're great soaps. Check them out. But use the link below in the discount code so you can get some money off on them as you try them. My personal favorite right now is Gambler. I love that one. Blazing Saddles is good. My wife is in love with, I believe it's Home on the Range is what she fell in love with. Um, I'm getting ready to purchase another one to try it, and that one's called Fire in the Hole. It's supposed to smell like campfire. I love campfire, so we're going to try that one, see if it actually does. Okay, that's done. Let's get going. Let's get into this. What have I missed? Small, what's your experience with Serta? Oh yeah, me and the dragons banter all the time, but Surtur is a different entity altogether. Like my dragons, getting them to shut up's the trick. They often make me feel like Shrek talking to Donkey. Let's see. Existence. Sometimes I know you say they leave if they quit the practice. I don't quit. I needed to take a break. So yeah, they absolutely understand. So you got to understand when a dragon looks at us, they know the forward, the backwards, inside and out. They know us better than we do. They see the past, the present, the future, and all possible pathways in which we might possibly take. So when you stepped away to take a break for whatever reason your break was taken, they knew it was a break. Now, had it turned into a quit, that would have been one thing. But since it was a break, you got nothing to worry about. Um, and even if they suspect a quit, they hang around for a while. They really do. Like I've actually seen a person who literally full on quit, flat out told them they quit. And it was 5 years later that they started to get back into Magic. They reached out to the Dragons. The Dragons showed up. They had to have a conversation. Was the sudden change of heart? Should we act? Are you really going to stick with it? That kind of thing. But the Dragons were back in after the conversation. So when we say they might leave, it's more of they just won't be around 24/7 all the time the way they were when you're actively working. Like, the Guardian here, my I can't get rid of them, which I'm glad for. It's always good to know I got the little guys here watching my back. That would be the thing. So you don't have to worry if you're taking a break. I have actually had to take a break. Weirdly, when I took a break, actually, though, like I stopped, I wasn't doing ritual, I wasn't doing particular magic or anything, but I never closed my arcane senses. So the entities I worked with would still walk in and wonder and say hi. I remember one time it's like I hadn't done magic in 4 to 6 months, something like that. But it was so weird because I knew I hadn't done the magic, and I'm sitting there working the smoker and just chilling by myself, talking to Odin. And it clicked to me that even though I'm not working magic, even though I'm taking a break, Odin and the dragons and these entities that I have friendships with, they're still here. They're still talking to me. And they're still ready to jump in once I'm ready to get going. And it was shortly thereafter I actually jumped back in full steam because it was just like, how wonderful are friends to have like this. I've had a few friends in real life that are, thick as thieves, as they say. And so to experience that with entities on the other side, that's a real motivator for me personally, because that means something to me. So anyway, that's just my 2 cents. Let's see what we got here. Where are we? Oh crap. Oh, whoa, we jumped. What's this, Jade? Jade. Oh, yeah, that is it. Capital letters, working dragon mystic. Thank you, Jade. Thank you for posting that. Oh, and you posted the outlaw link too. Amazing. Look at her, people. What would I do without Jade? Drake, is it fine to burn? Whoa, we jumped on. Drake, is it fine to burn a sigil instead of putting your intent and putting it away? Does the effect work the same? It differs from magician to magician. In all honesty, it depends on which one works best for the magician. To some magicians, it doesn't matter. They can work both ways. There is no right or wrong. My personal opinion, when you're doing sigil magic and beginning, and I would actually test both. I would start with the one that, and I know this is like the least data specific or scientific method, but I would start with the one that feels best to you. Use that for a little while, let's say a month or two, and then switch to the other method. Use that one for a month or two, and look at your journal, check your notes. Did you get any variation in results? Yes or no? If you did, consider that and meditate on it. But if you did get a variation, but the variation wasn't enough for you to give a rat's patoot about, use the method that you just prefer, honestly and truly. So I would say by and large, it really doesn't, like, for the actual mechanical practice, it doesn't make a difference. It's going to more depend on the magician's viewpoint and their subconscious viewpoint. I mean, I'll be honest. For me personally, I never burn sigils just because it's a pain in the ass. Um, Everywhere I've ever lived, they've had so many freaking smoke alarms. I just don't want to deal with them. I really don't. So I just never did it. Or I'd be in a place where I couldn't, or something like that. Or I also travel. Well, guess what? Burnt paper in a hotel room, that draws security. So can't do that. So I've always gone with the either reusing of sigils, or I just rip them up and throw them away if I'm destroying them. So yeah, there's so many methods. There is no right or wrong there. Just pick the one that feels right to you and try it out, and try some of the other methods. Try ripping them if you want to. That's what I do most of the time, unless I'm doing a long-term working. If I'm doing a long-term working, I always keep it because I'm lazy. Seriously, it has nothing to do with process or nothing. It's I'm lazy. I don't want to continue to create the same sigil over and over and over and over and over again when I know I'm going to be doing a daily or weekly spell for the same freaking thing long term. That's just ludicrous to me. And for the first time, that's one of the few things that the environmentalists look and say, "Hey, Jake, good job. We appreciate you saving the paper." Usually they don't like me. But that's okay. It's all cool. It's a balance. You hate me sometimes, you like me other times. We're good. But yeah, by and large, just it doesn't matter. It really comes to the magician. And like I said, I admit it. Half the time I use repeatable sigils because I'm lazy. And when I'm using one-time uses, I rip them up just because it's easiest. True story. All right. Let's see. I must have missed some stuff in there. Oh, crap. We are busy tonight. I'm loving it. I can't keep up. People, just so you all know, we do have the super chats up and going. So if you make a small donation or some kind, it will flash it up on the screen. So if for some reason I keep missing your question, it's really important. You can use that. Any super chat donation will flash it up because this is busy. I am missing all kinds of crap tonight. But I'm also excited because there are so many people in here. By the way, we got 20 people in here, 12 thumbs. Let's get this up to 20 thumbs. Let's see if we can do that. All right. Hit the like button, smash it. It lets YouTube know you actually like what I'm doing here. And we do need to do that because YouTube is making some changes. And whoo, is it hurting the channel? Oh, we're struggling over here. We'll get through it, though. We will get through it. Let's see. Let's see, where are we? On how to feel energies and when your dragons or new dragons are nearby. Does a fae feel different? Would love to hear how different entities may feel when nearby. Okay, first off, yes, different entities will feel differently. How they feel, that's not something I can really answer because that's like flavors of food, even. No two people is necessarily going to describe the same food the same. There's a almost personal point of view in how something feels or how something tastes or how something looks, much like art. Two people may not enjoy the same art or music, those kinds of things. Same clothing fabric, same clothing style. Like, I know a lot of people think this hat looks great on me, but they would never freaking put it on their own head. So that takes experience working with them to figure out, how does this particular entity or type of entities feel to you so that you can start to recognize that. It just takes time. As to learning, it does take practice. We do have a few videos here on the channel on working with different energies and getting to feel them. As to how to feel dragons, you have to work with them. You have to spend time. You can't flip a switch and gain wisdom. And the question you're asking deals in wisdom, not just knowledge. So the problem is there's a certain base of knowledge to get started. Then there's a skill set in between, and then you gain the wisdom. But it takes time and practice. Magicians and mages do what they do for many years in order to gain the understanding they gain. You don't gain it quick. Oh crap, we jumped again. Ooh. See, Karma Drake, I want to start my ruler path working. I want to ask which ruler would be the best for teaching discipline and arcane senses. Um, when you say you're wanting to start your ruler path working, are you talking about Dragon Magic 101 or are you trying to solo this? Because Dragon Magic 101 lays this out. You'll actually begin your arcane senses and even your discipline long before you ever make it to the rulers. You'll actually begin it with your guardian dragon and your co-magician, which you absolutely have to have before you approach the rulers. If you do not have those and you have not completed certain tasks, you're never going to actually get to the rulers. The best you're going to get to is going to be like a shadow of the rulers, unfortunately speaking. But if you do manage to get those things completed, then I would really say Terrafauna. Terrafauna is really good on the discipline aspect of it. Now, she's also really great with the arcane senses. A lot of people find this a little off, but she is. Now, when it comes to knowledge and wisdom and mental facilities, Zephyr Seal. But there's actually a reason that in 101 the rulers are put in the order they are. And it is suggested you follow that order. People are, you're allowed to jump around if you want, but the initial order is actually Terrafauna Zephyr Seal because of that discipline and further development of the skill sets. But by the time you get to Terrafauna, your arcane senses are going to be pretty heavily developed already. But all the rulers are going to continue to develop those and to build on those in different ways throughout the entirety of the path working. The discipline side is going to be Terrafauna for sure. The person who's going to test that discipline, and I do mean test it, maddeningly so, is going to be Ingus. Ingus will, if you don't have your discipline, he will break you. Let's see. Whoa, we keep jumping. What does it mean if someone's aura is purple? It depends on. Okay, you have to understand that aura color is not a literal set into stone. This means this. There are so many books out there that have published perspectives of color, and they've gone around, they've collected them and whatnot. But not every magician is going to see every aura color the same, and that gets tricky, I know. So I can only answer this in the general term, not a literal term. And honestly, I would never take an aura color as a hard set rule because of this. But in general terms, purple leads into more spiritual, mystical, or arcane attunements in most general correspondences of auras. But again, I wouldn't put that in the bank. Can the power of rock and roll be used to exercise negative energy or spirits? Any witch here a musician? Music can be used for anything, Scarlett. Definitely. Absolutely. As to what will it do? The music is a music, okay? The music itself doesn't necessarily create the power itself. There's two factors involved. That is partially what is the musician trying to communicate. Now, if you literally have one of these techno beats that has like no soul, no emotion, no nothing to it, it's about as neutral, flatlined as you can get. However, if the music triggers an emotional response in you, and this is the important one, that emotional response is going to fill the area. So it will cleanse the room. It will expel the negativity from the room because it's going to fill the room with that positivity. This is why when you listen to music to process their emotions, it helps and is so powerful in doing so. But you also do have to pay attention to what you are listening to and what it means to you. Sometimes it can just be certain beats and rhythms are uplifting to you. It's not the words. Some people really need to focus in on the words. It's going to depend on you, but you can definitely use it. I love music as a energy lifter in the house. I generally have music playing at some point, sometime during the day, all the time. Only when I'm doing editing or filming do I generally cut it off, or unless I'm on a call or business like that. I love having music going. It definitely sets the mood. I even use it in meditations or in workings to help raise those energies. I also do it when I'm communicating with those who I love who've passed on, because we have that connection through different songs and musics that we remember. Very powerful tool. Absolutely a powerful tool. Let's see. Oh yeah, I had a huge amount of emotional overstream elation working with Terrafana. Oh yeah, Terrafana is good at that. Cora Allegra has actually been known to just make people turn into a crying ball of blubbering, because she deals with emotions, and like when she comes in, it's like, don't get me wrong, it's like this warm, comforting, compassionate, mothering kind of thing, safety net, where it's just like everything's lifted off your shoulders, and then suddenly you break down because you just realize you just, oh dear God, and it just all floods out. But Terrafana has also been known for it too. Usually Cora, but Terrafana definitely getting it. Um, let's see. I was launched into the stratosphere, had to figure out how to land without dying. Let's see. Small being also found a lot of my life. The ruler's energy ripples through. Yeah, when you're working with these entities, that energetic ripple is going to continue through. A lot of people like to think that if an entity crosses your path, or if an entity, you call an entity in, the ritual's there, you do the ritual, you close the ritual, that's it, it's done. The energy's gone, the entity's gone, everything's done. No. Even if an entity, like let's say you don't even call the entity, let's say it just like walks through your house or flies by your house or something like that. Um, they will leave an energetic wake. And depending on the entity, that wake can actually last months. And in the case of a dragon, it can last years. There's actually a few people here in this chat right now that didn't even encounter the full aura, auric energy of the dragon. They would describe it as only a piece of glitter in size. And that energetic carried for 2.5, almost 3 years now, if I'm doing my math right. So there is that. Now, in the case of a dragon, there's only so much you can do, because in the case of a dragon, that energy is going to be there. It's going to constantly be moving. It's going to be constantly shifting. It's going to be constantly helping transform. But you're not going to be able to get rid of it. You got to work with it. This is also why dragons do not approach close to humans, typically, without being called. They usually keep energetically spaced. Even if you see them, they're not energetically there. It's weird, I know, but other entities have this same factor, and this is also why we do so many cleansings. When people talk about cleansing their house, I actually spoke with someone recently where they were having a major issue. They had encountered an entity, and I'm not going to get into their private business here, but they had gone to the internet and Reddit and maybe TikTok and to get advice. And oh dear God, the advice was bad. But the one, everybody spiraled into all these conspiracy weird things and everything, but no one stopped to ask them, did you cleanse? Did you do a cleansing? And that was one of the first things I asked them, because I was asking them a few questions, told them not to panic those things. And I was like, well, how are you even sure the entity's still there if your arcane senses aren't functioning, if you can't see the entity and you can't communicate with the entity? And they's like, I can feel the energy. I was like, that doesn't mean the entity's there. I told them that energy can actually, from that particular entity, I know for a fact that it can last a month or 3 months pretty easy. So I asked them to just do a very simple cleansing on their home. And in the meantime, I was going to do the things that they had contacted me originally to do. Newsflash, fast forward, I didn't have to do anything, because they contacted me within an hour being like, hey, Drake, amazing news. The cleansing absolutely worked. Thank you. So many people are unaware of how that energy can just stay there, and it does stay with us. And when we're working with them, like the dragons, for example, that energetic pattern is constantly there. It is there as a benefit to us. Now, sometimes that benefit to us may seem like a bumpy road, but again, the dragons will talk about growing pains. Sometimes change is rough. That's why sitting down and just waiting for things to get better is never a good thing if you practice dragon magic. If you practice dragon magic, be proactive in getting better. Don't sit down, because sit down just means they're going to go get the little wiffle ball bats and start bonking you with them. Oh, Maria, mugs up to you. Thank you very much for the super chat. Appreciate it. Let's see. Ganesh, can you please guide us on how to cast runes with attention, emotion, and energy? So, are you talking about doing like a full rune casting divination, or are you talking about casting like casting a runic spell? Because if runic spell, yeah, we can do. I actually did a rune series that covers this to some extent, but yeah, we can go ahead and do that here, Ganesh, no problem. So let's use Fehu. I love Fehu. Fehu, or you know what? Let's use Wunyo. Wunyo, yeah. Fehu's usually wealth, which I love money. Don't get me wrong. But let's use Wunyo, because Wunyo deals with well-being and joy, and we could all use a little bit of that, right? So for all, nobody here has too much well-being and joy. So we're going to go ahead and go flying with this. And if y'all want to follow along, you can. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to, we're not even going to picture the rune yet, though. If you wanted to look it up, Wunyo kind of, oh, hold on. Do I have my rune journal here? I do not. Crap. How would I describe Wunyo? Wunyo. Can I? Then no, that ain't gonna work. I can't flip this. Correct. Okay. I'm gonna try to do this by description. A flag. Thank you. Yes, a flag. Think of like a P. You got a line here, and a line here. It looks kind of like a P. Wunyo is going to kind of look like a flag or a P. Thank you. Yes, that is true. So you can picture that in your mind if you want. For this particular exercise, it's not necessary. But I want you to focus on joy and well-being. I don't want you to, you can even think about what makes you happy, okay? If something makes you particularly happy or joyful, you can focus on it. That's fine. But really all we need to do is focus on the words and the ideal of being well and having joy in our life, whatever that may be. Once you have that in your brain, once you have thought of it, don't worry if you have aphantasia. You don't need to see a freaking thing. Just think it. Just think it. What is joy? What makes you happy? Okay, think of it. For me, it might be a cup of coffee. It doesn't have to be big. It can be anything that brings you joy, no matter how big or small. Think it. Okay. Now, the next thing you're going to want to do is you want to get that joy. You want to get that well-being. You want to get that out into the world. You want to cast it, as Odin would talk about. And to do that, you really dive in there and you get into it and you want to vibrate it and you want to carry it. So think about that well-being, put that in your mind, whatever that may be. And we are going to literally intone the name Wunyo. Okay. And we're going to carry that out. Now, if you're wondering what's that mean, you want your chest. You want your chest to vibrate. Think you want this come deep down into the diaphragm when you say it. And you don't have to say it perfect. If it cracks or whatever, believe me, we've all been there. We've all had puberty and we've all had a bad voice. I've even done this when I practically had no voice. I even recorded it so I could laugh at myself later. It's okay. The point is you put that intonation and get that vibration going. That vibration will fill the air and push out and cast. And you are bringing that intent of joy. You are bringing that emotion of joy. And you are putting that energy behind it. Now, what that would sound like exactly is Now, everyone's going to have, in Norse, they would refer to it as a golder, their own golder. And what that means is when I'm talking about that vibration, don't try to sound like Drake, okay? I'm Drake. Don't sound like me, sound like you. And how you know what you do? Listen, feel that vibration, your body, as that chest and that diaphragm start to vibrate as you're goldering out that rune, your body is going to feel that vibration. Okay, feel those good vibrations. They wrote a song about it, didn't they? All right. I'm not going to sing on here. Don't worry about that. That is how you do it. Rune magic is an incredibly simple but incredibly powerful thing if you do it. And a lot of people try to make it sound boring. So apologize if I got a little energetic here and a little goofy. But let's be honest, it can be a lot of fun. Like anytime I'm sick, sore throat, whatever, and the admin team can check me on this, I will flat out ask, have you goldered Urus lately? Because Urus is health and vitality. And I always do my golderings in a repetition of 9. 9 is a very powerful number within the Norse. 9 days on Yggdrasil for Odin. So I always do the 9. Now, for those people like, Drake, I can't keep track of if I'm doing my goldering right, plus count the 9. Neither can I. Neither can I. I'm dyslexic. I suck at math. I had to hustle my way through algebra. That's okay. I will literally, while I'm goldering, be ticking my hands down like this. And then I know when I got my thumb up, I'm done. And if you go past 9, let's say you lose count, just keep going until you're sure you got 9 or more. You're good to go. Slide on into home. And I can tell you from experience, when I use Urus, I get better so much quicker. Like I had a bad, I want to say it was strep throat and something else at the same time. Could not shake it for the life of me. They couldn't get me to shake it. And yeah, Oscar's turned into my math translator. He really has. And I was taking a hot shower one day, and it occurred to me, why haven't I used Urus? I goldered Urus right there in the shower, and before I had finished making my breakfast, I could breathe. I could swallow. My throat didn't hurt. It's just like it cracked. I don't know. So it's happened to varying degrees, but it definitely helps me get better faster. Public service announcement: Rune magic is not a replacement for seeing a proper doctor. Be sure to see your proper medical professional. Thank you. Drake is not a doctor. So there we go. Let's see. Yeah, I know Oscar being my my math translator. Thanks to Oscar and Seffi, I can math because my wife is literally like a human calculator, and it's like, what is? And I'm starting to punch it in my phone, and she's like, it's this. I'm like, and I'll finish punching it in because I'm just waiting for the time I finish punching it in, and she's wrong. Just so y'all know, 23 years of marriage, she ain't been wrong yet, and we've been together for much longer than that. So yeah, for well over 25 years, in fact, more than half my life, she's never been wrong on that. So mugs up to her because, Rick, yeah, I can't do that. Where can I read about a good source? First off, goodness, we do have a rune magic or a rune class playlist that will cover each rune in some detail for you. If you want to check that out, you can watch through that. I go over each rune. You can take some notes. That is a great place to get started. However, if you want to deep dive, you know what? Give me a second. I'll show you. I am back. One of the perks of actually moving my bookcase into my office here where I do all my work, I actually have more readily access available to them. So first off, some people don't like this book, and this book is really hard to get a hold of sometimes, but it is the Rune Workbook by a Leon D. Wild. This is from a particular rune guild. They do different meanings and everything. It has some good meanings. It has some good workings, some good descriptions. Some people like it, some people don't. But from one perspective, I do enjoy this book. And a lot of rune workers I do know enjoy this book because it does cram so much into such a small book. Kind of handy. However, if you're buying just one book, I would go with this one. Taking Up the Runes by Diana L. Paxson. I love this book. This book is freaking huge, you will see. And the reason I like it is the same reason I love anthologies on entities. It's because every time you get to a rune, not only do they tell you these simple basic meanings, but they also dive into the workings, the philosophical meanings that I want to say each rune has at least 3 different authors that have worked with them over the years, giving their own insights and viewpoints on the meanings of that particular rune. And this is going to give you a much broader, more complete viewpoint and knowledge. Because the truth be told, you could study one rune for your entire life and feel volumes on it and never actually scratch the surface of the entirety of the rune. So these runes are freaking massive when you dive into them like that. So a book like Taking Up the Runes is a big jump start in that particular process. That would be where I would get started. Now, many of you know I have a Norse magic course coming, and we're talking, there's been discussion. Well, actually, I asked you all whether I should separate the runes and it. Odds are we're going to do a quick glance on the runes during the Norse magic course, but we're going to do a deep dive because of just how big it is. If you're interested in the Norse magic course or the rune course, this book right here would be a great jump start into it. There you go. You asked, I answered. Hope that helps. Actually, I think you might be able to find a link below most of my videos for this. It would be an affiliate link, so it would be supporting the channel. I don't know if it's down there or not. I think it used to be. It may not be now. But that one is a lot easier to find, too. Hopefully that helps. Let's see. Blue Star actually started laughing, doing that, feeling the joy. There you go. There you go. Let it flow. If you need to laugh while you're goldering, go right ahead. There's nothing wrong with that. Get into it. Laughter is joy. So if you start giggling while doing Winyo, that is perfectly normal. That is. So, and glad you all actually was able to see what I mean. That's why I like those demos and being able to get on here live with you all, because it's like, you can go right along with me and do it and see just how much energy. Like, we only did 2 golders of that, and it's, imagine taking that to a 9, because 9 golders. All right, what is the Anthony? Are angels and demons constantly at war? What made them enemies, or is there more to it? They're not at war. They're not enemies. That is a religious viewpoint and perspective, honestly. Root magic. I'm not saying root magic better than doctors. So they aren't at war. They aren't enemies. And in fact, the categorizations are muddier than muddy water, Anthony. They really are. So most of what we categorize today as demons was once categorized as angels by different religions, or was actually categorized as divinities by different religions. And different religions, not just Christianity, though Christianity gets the most credit, would take that particular divinity and say, well, this divinity doesn't agree with our particular dogma, so we're going to call it a demon, and we're going to badmouth it, and we're going to put a political spin on it, and, we're going to make people not want to work with it. We're going to make it all scary and ooga booga booga booga. And that's really what we get when you start looking at the categories of demons. They're not at war. In fact, they are actually 2 sides of the same coin. And like every other entity I've encountered in the multiverse, they do work within that balance. Angels work a little bit more with order and rules, but they still are all about growth, teaching, and the same things that you will find demons. Demons will teach. They will teach growth. They will teach empowerment. They will teach ascent. So will angels. Both of these will teach these things. They're going to do it in a different way. Angels are a bit more softer most of the time. Not always. Not always. And in a lot more orderly fashion. It's very predictable in how that may go, one foot in front of the other. Demons, they're going to do the same process. They may even do it quicker, but it's going to be a lot less ordered. So it may be skipping 3 or 4 steps, or maybe falling backwards down the stairs because the location you're actually looking for is behind you, not in front of you. Or perhaps it's a slight lateral jump to the side. But they will get you there. The divine war, as it's been painted throughout religions, it's just not there. And what you have to understand is a lot of the older or traditional occult writings are also painted with a religious canvas, because most of your literary people at the time were tied to nobility or religion, and due to religious laws, and again, this isn't strictly Christianity, people, you just couldn't talk about it unless you were kind of following along with the religious guidance. That's just the way humanity and cultures have done things throughout eons. So there's really not a war. I mean, I have had demons and angels in the same room having coffee, having a perfectly normal conversation with me through evocation, or even in my astral sanctum. And to the best I could tell, they were actually planning the next time they were getting together when I wouldn't even be there. So, yeah, hope that helps. Let's see. What do we got? Zankim, we're going to go with that. Drake, this is a hard question, but I think important for all people here. If you have to start from zero, what path would you learn? I wouldn't. I'll be honest with you. If I had to start from zero, what I would do is I'd focus on the fundamentals. I would not worry about a path. Too many people get focused on the path and get lost. This constant pushing of which path a person's going to follow is more detrimental and hindrance to a practitioner than a lot of other things. Focus on the fundamentals. Focus on your meditation practice. Don't worry about the tradition. Just focus on the fundamentals. Learn passive meditation. Learn active meditation. Learn movement meditation. Move into some trance work. Begin some simple spell work to get confirmations of successes. Again, don't worry about path. Don't worry about traditions. Throw that crap out. If there's something that interests you or draws your attention, say, for example, you are interested in dragons, you can focus on those fundamentals and begin researching those. But don't worry about the path, because the path isn't important. The magician is important. The skills are important. The progress is important. The path does not matter. Even in the same tradition, two magicians who actually excel will never walk the same exact path, even in the same tradition. Even though these people trying to sell you a bunch of hooey and telling you that the only path is their path and only they can get you to ascent, they're going to try and sell it to you. I'm here to tell you, I've worked with many, many, many students from many, many, many different backgrounds, focusing on fundamentals. And I've told them, I will give you fundamentals. I will give you techniques. I will encourage you to try them. I don't care what your path is. I don't care if you go down the same road I went down in my life. Half the time, I would encourage you not. I fell in plenty of potholes and made plenty of mistakes. The path does not matter. The skills you develop, your discipline, your mindfulness, your goals, your getting up every morning and walking it, that matters. The path does not. So, to answer your question short, after that rant, the path I would walk from point zero is the path of Drake. And I would encourage everyone here to walk the path of, insert your name here. All right. I need a cup of drink of coffee after that. I'm very hyper tonight. Where did this come from? Because I was a little groggy earlier. Infinity Beyond. Welcome. Love the name, by the way. Oh, also, hey Anthony, great. Thanks. That would make a great short video. Which one? Oh, the angels? Yeah, that probably would actually. You got a good point there. Might have to do that one. That is a good idea. That would be a great clip. We got a couple rants in here that make great clips tonight. Yeah. Also, do remember, if you want to support the channel, we do have channel memberships now. There should be a button down there that says become a channel member. There's 3 tiers, 5, 10, 15. And currently the tier 3 members, if you want to guest star in a roundtable, you can message me on Gilded, or you can email me at workingdragonmystic.com, or not .com, workingdragonmystic@gmail.com. That's the one. That's the one. Now I got it. And you can actually be a guest there. Though part of that is, you and I have to get together. We're going to discuss what the topic may be. We'll discuss the rules of behaving on YouTube, all that jazz. You got to get the business out of the way. But it is open currently to tier 3 only for guest spots from the memberships. But tier 2, tier 3, you get spell workings every month. Tier 3 get some discounts and early access to courses, all that stuff. Tier 1, they get, we do post members only content occasionally, not often. I'm not too good at posting it regularly, though we have had the adventures of Bob and Ace quite well. We've got an artist who's just loving cranking those out. And I've even told the admin team that if I ever have a roundtable that we need to go deep into something that, for example, just is not YouTube friendly, that will be a members only roundtable, or it will be edited and the unedited version will be a members only. So just be aware, those topics and stuff that may be too hot for YouTube would probably end up being over there if they happen. So far we've done pretty good with the roundtables, though we got a few coming up that we'll have to see. We will have to see. So there we go. Hey, Pap Smoking Heathen, you made it. Mugs up to you, mate. Oh. What was it? How does telepathy work? Because I keep trying to use telepathy to talk to animals and nothing's happening. So I want to know what I'm doing wrong. Well, first off, you have to understand animals don't communicate in the same language we do. That would be part of the problem. If you're just trying to speak English to a language that the animal don't necessarily speak English, that's not going to work. You're going to have to focus more into the emotional, intuitive side, not the verbalization word side. So and that makes developing such a skill extremely hard because you can't really get good feedback. So if you're wanting to develop this skill, I'd recommend you work with another human, technically speaking. And even then it can get hard because it depends on how open the individual is. Because an open individual who has the ability to pick up on the information is going to be easier than, like, just say some bartender and you're like, hey, bring me a beer. If he's not open to receiving, you're not going to get through. Same thing with a magician who has their shields up. Like the basic bubble shield is there for a reason. Any type of shield's there for a reason. So you're just going to slam into that also. So you've got to consider all those factors. It's not like the movies where you just and boom, they understand you. I wish it was. That'd be freaking amazing. It would make me communicating with business partners far freaking easier. Sadly, Hollywood lied. Who'd have thunk it, right? Can we speak on Terrafauna, or did you do a video? I mean, we can talk about her if you got a question, but I did do a video on her, actually. Yeah, I did a video on her and all the first 4 rulers. But I adore Terrafauna. Ruler of the Dragons of Earth. Normally presents as a large European dragon. Think if you look at the Rockies or the Appalachian mountain range, that would roughly give you the length of this dragon. And this is her body. This isn't her neck. Like, her body would fill that length. So if you actually add her like neck length, if you stretched her head out with her tail, she'd be even longer than that. So body length would be like the Appalachians. But deals in healing, deals in foundational principles, deals in stability, health, finances, all kinds of concepts. I mean, that would be a very general and quick rundown. And we are getting ready to get clocks thrown at me because it's already 54. But I do have a video on her that goes a little deeper if you want. Let's see. Oh, yeah, what Drake said. What'd I say? I don't know. I said a lot of things here, Pike. I've not shut up. Let's see. Can you bind yourself from your own behaviors? Yes, but it does take discipline because you and of yourself can also unbind yourself just as easily as you bind yourself. So honestly, your best bet is to try and develop. The way I would do this, in truth, Isabel, if you're wanting to do this, is A, I would do the binding. B, I would do spell working to help develop habits that go contrary to the original habit so that you're doing other things. So you got this little thing bound. Now you're developing new habits. And I would also do spell working and practice daily habits that build self discipline. I would take that threefold approach because if you actively put that binding there, that binding only helps to prevent you from taking a direct action first and foremost. However, you still have the free will to do this, right? So it's going to nudge you to not do it. But let's be honest, that nudge is a nudge. And if you want to proceed with bad habit enough, you're going to proceed with bad habit enough due to a lack of discipline. Most things is just a lack of discipline. It really is, unfortunately. But discipline's a pain in the rear to develop. Also, let's be fair. So I know a lot of people's like, well, that's just a lack of discipline. Yeah, it is. But discipline's freaking hard to cultivate here, Bob. So off my back while I cultivate. So that's why I would recommend taking all those actions, because then you bind it. You got it. You got that help there. You're cultivating that discipline. We know it's hard. Work on it. And I would use magic to help cultivate the discipline, as well as physical everyday activities or actions that you can do to cultivate it. That is how I would do it. And that's because it is easy for you to undo your own magic. And free will is one of the strongest powers out there. It really is. Just so you know. There we go. Oh, man, it's getting hot in my office. I forgot to turn the fan on. Let's see. Type in Terrafauna. It should pop up, or Ruler of the Dragons of Earth. Her normal colors that she usually presents in, again, this is general averages, not hard rules, will usually be earthy browns and deep greens. Think earth, rock, and forest colors. Thank you for this live stream. No problem, Existence. Hope you can make it back to another one. We are getting ready to wrap up here. Everyone, this has been a lot of fun. Temple of the Gods, you put in, what are your thoughts on the Nephilim? Mate, that is a lovely question. That almost deserves its own video. And with 5 minutes, no, less than 5 minutes, I don't think I have time for that rant, mate. So either bring that question with you next week, or you know what? I'm actually going to go ahead and just for shiggles, I'm actually going to put Nephilim on my topics list. Because I'm always looking for topics to do videos on anyways. And that is a freaking great topic. And I have a lot to... Bleh. So I would actually enjoy doing that one. But if you want to hear a summary or something, try and bring that back next week. But I did go ahead and put it over here. And what in the world just happened? I'm trying a new setup here today, people. I got one computer over here for me to take notes on, because you guys have been giving me so many notes. And then I got mine here with the stream going, all that stuff. So, yeah. All right. Everyone, I hope you guys have had a fantastic time. I know I have. This has been a busy one. I know I missed a lot of questions because we have been so busy in here. Some of it was you all answering each other's questions, which I am so proud to see this community helping each other out. That is amazing. And there's the clocks. I knew they were coming. It wouldn't be a Sunday without the clocks. Jade, thank you for the clocks. And thank you for all you do for the Gilded server and the channel. We couldn't do this without you. And that goes the same with you all viewers. I appreciate everything you all do, all the support you give us, whether it's just a subscription, whether it's just hitting the like button. It all makes a huge difference. I do appreciate it. And for those waiting on the outdoor videos, great news. I have one of the newest outdoor videos already filmed, and we should be seeing it in a week or two popping up on the channel. So more outdoor videos are coming for those of you who have been, Drake, where's the outdoor series? You started it last year. We ain't seen none. Where is it? I agree. We need more videos. They're coming, I promise. We do also have a lot of great videos coming. Like I said, we had a viewer guest on a roundtable, and I think it's fair. I should go ahead and say I have already been chatting with EA, and EA Co-Editing is actually wanting to come back to the channel to continue that conversation that we did not have time to finish in the initial roundtable. Myself and the admin team are very excited about that. So we can expect that roundtable conversation to be happening in the next few weeks, I do believe. When it'll be posted exactly, I'm not 100% sure. But that is, I'm really excited about it. Great detailed conversations. This one's going to be a real this one's going to be fun. This one might be one I have to look at to editing or maybe members only or something, because what we're talking about could get into some areas. But we're going to see. And again, EA, if by chance you happen to get bored and you're watching the roundtable, thank you for the original one, and thank you for willing to come back on here and continue that conversation, because, boy, you got my interest peaked on that. And I know you're wanting to share your ideals and hear my ideals. So mugs up to you, mate. All right, everyone, have a fantastic week. Keep on doing what you're doing. Keep on progressing. Remember, no one does it overnight. Just try to do a little better tomorrow than we do today. And little by little, day by day, you continue to do that. I promise by this time next year, you will see a completely different you who has improved massively. The little changes are hard to see, I know. But keep that journal, keep that record, set those goals. You will achieve them. I know it is possible. I've done it myself, and I have seen countless others do it. And in all honesty, that is what drives me to continue keeping doing this channel, is so many of you messaging me, writing me, talking about how much this channel has helped you. So thank you for that. And until next week, everyone, I'm Drake. This has been Working Dragon Mystic. Have a wonderful night. See ya.